It's official. Anthropic is finally back with the redeployment of Claude Fable 5 after the US government lifted the temporary export controls that forced Anthropic to suspend access worldwide. Fable 5 is once again available across Cloud AI, the Cloud API, Cloud Code, and Cloud Cowork starting today. There are also a lot of important details surrounding this redeployment that we're going to be breaking down, including what has changed, why it was temporarily pulled, and what Anthropic has done to bring it back. Google has also been working quite hard with a new Gemini Flash checkpoint, potentially the Gemini 3.6 Flash or even Gemini 4 Flash. Either way, the results look really impressive, especially with what it's capable of generating, and after the recent heat DeepMind has been catching, this feels like a strong response from Google. On top of that, GPT-5.6 in Codex has a few leaked new details. That may point towards its official launch, and there is definitely something that looks a little concerning, which we're going to be covering, but there's a lot more to cover, so let's just simply dive into it all. If you want the best AI tools, workflows, and drops before everyone else, join my free newsletter with the link in the description below, which is completely free. Let's start off with Anthropic's announcement yesterday, where they officially confirmed that Claude Fable 5 would be returning globally after a productive discussion with the US government. Alongside the redeployment, Anthropic says that it introduced a new set of cybersecurity safety classifiers to better detect and block dangerous requests. Because these classifiers are still being refined, some normal coding and debugging tasks may temporarily fall back to the Cloud Opus 4.8 for the time being until it works on reducing these false positives. Now, the company also announced that it is working with Amazon, Microsoft, and other glassing partners to create a shared industry framework that is going to help evaluate AI jailbreaks, but also expand collaborations with the US government through pre-release model testing, jailbreak, information sharing, and AI safety research. Then in an updated blog post which was launched just a couple of days ago, Anthropic today officially confirmed that both Claude Fable 5 and Cloud Mythos 5 have been fully redeployed. The company explains that the export controls introduced on June 12th have been officially lifted, allowing Fable 5 to return globally across Cloud AI, the API, Cloud Code, and Cloud Cowork starting today. Now for Pro and Max Team and select enterprise users, Fable 5 will count for up to 50% of your weekly usage limits through July 7th, after which it will move towards a usage credit system. This is where Anthropic also says that it's working to restore reliability on AWS, Google Cloud, Microsoft Foundry, and many other systems as quickly as possible. Meanwhile, Cloud Mythos 5 has been restored for a limited group of US organizations, with Anthropic planning to gradually expand access to more domestic and international lawing partners over time. So after nearly 3 weeks of being offline, Claude Fable 5 is officially back, and it looks like Anthropic has significantly changed how the model will be deployed going forward, with stronger safeguards, revised usage limits, and much more collaboration with both industry partners and the US government. Overall, the quality has still remained the same in most of my generations, and it doesn't seem like they have nerfed any of the coding capabilities of Fable 5. And if you'd like, you can easily try it out within the World of AI benchmark. And you can easily create an account with this 5 coding platform completely for free. AutomaChat did a really great test on HTML5 physics, and this is where it does absolutely amazing, crushing the GLM 5.2, GPT 5.5, and Opus 4.8 across all of these different tests. But it costs 6 times more than Opus 4.8. But that is an exception for Fable 5 due to the performance you get. But regardless, the same prompts across 4 different models were to build 3 self-contained Canvas physics demos. This is where Fable 5 used about 62,000 tokens and costed around $3. QVT 5.5 used 37,000 tokens and costed about $1, and Opus 4.8 costed 22,000 tokens and costed only 50 cents, and GLM 5.2 had used up 36,000 tokens and only spent 8 cents, which is definitely nice. Cable 5 delivered 8+ scenes across the board. You can see that with the realistic crashes, proper object physics, you have clean destruction, and no weird floating or clipping. EPT 5.5 was the closest and honestly may have been slightly better in the monster truck test because you can see right here that it does a lot better with all of the physics as well as the realistic crashes and object physics. Now, the GLM 5.2 didn't win any scene, but at 8 cents, it did exceptionally well with the generation. Quality. Not saying it is perfect, but it did quite well in terms of creating a basic scaffold of whatever you're trying to work with. Regardless, Fable 5 is the quality king here, but you definitely need to pay for that quality. Seems like there isn't a quality dip at all, and this is where the model is still at the same quality as what we previously saw before it had gotten the export ban. Now, this is my favorite demo so far from today. Someone essentially challenged Fable 5 to recreate GTS 6. Well, obviously not the real game, but the results are pretty funny and cool, whatever we're seeing, because the entire demo was generated in a single prompt where Fable 5 wrote all. The game code, while also generating every 3D asset procedurally using 3GS. No external models, no pre-made assets, just Fable 5 generating everything on the fly, which is just nuts that we're seeing all of this being outputted from a single prompt. Moving forward, I'm not paid to say this, but chat. GBT Plus is 50% off right now. I'm not too sure how long this will last. I just saw this on X and I wanted to let you guys know, as OpenAI appears to be offering ChatGPT Plus for only $10 a month for the first 3 months, instead of the usual $20 a month. So you get 50% off and you can essentially use this link. I'm not sponsored, I just saw this link online, so just keep that in mind and you can easily get this discount. I'm not too sure how long they'll keep this, and it's not always going to be guaranteed to be accessible by everyone because it may be region blocked for different areas. So not too sure if this is going to be available for everyone. For me, I didn't buy it because I already have the plan, but this is just if anyone is interested in accessing this new discount. Next up, Google may be testing a new Gemini Flash checkpoint on Ella Marina, and early impressions are suggesting that it is a noticeable step above the current Flash model running in Gemini. And this is just funny because Gemini has been getting a lot of heat recently, especially after the researchers had left the company, and there was a couple of checkpoints being shown within Arena, as well as the Gemini app, which disappointed many, and this may be a response to that. And the official naming of this new checkpoint is still unconfirmed, but it could potentially launch as Gemini 3.6 Flash or Gemini 4 Flash, or under a completely different version number. From what testers are seeing, this does not look like a massive generational jump, but more of a solid incremental upgrade with better output quality. Now, you do have a chance to access this model or this new checkpoint within the arena right now. It is definitely going to be really hard to come by, as it is something that takes too many generations within the battle mode to get that output. But regardless, it is super easy. You just send in a prompt and you may be selected with the A/B testing. You will definitely be wondering, where the hell did we get this version number? Well, it was a model slug that was spotted, and it did state the Gemini 4 Flash preview as well as the Gemini 3.6 Flash preview. But this does look like it is a Flash variant, which is really interesting to see this sort of result coming from the Flash model, which is Gemini's Flash and efficient here, a domain that we all know Gemini absolutely kills it in across every single. The test in comparison to other models is SVG, and this is where it absolutely killed it with this new checkpoint in generating a pelican riding a bike, and this is where you have extreme details being outputted. You even have the tire smoke. You have all the components being thoroughly generated, as well as a pretty beautiful background, beautiful in relative to what it is being generated in SVG. And voxel art, it does a decent job. Nothing super impressive or extraordinary. It is pretty decent for a Flash variant, you can say, in terms of generating the PS5 and Xbox controller and SVG, you can see that this is a pretty decent generation. It is really great to see that a Flash variant is able to output this sort of quality in SVG. Moving forward, there are a lot of new reports suggesting that GPT-5.6 in Codex could feature a 372,000 token content window. Well, nothing has been officially confirmed by OpenAI yet. It was a report that was spotted with OpenClause's commit, and it had essentially showcased the context window of the Soul model, and obviously it is. A decent, you can say, context window, but it is relatively small, and we were all expecting a 1 million token context window. So I'm not too sure what's happening, and I'm not too sure if it's 100% confirmed, but this was a report that was spotted today. If you didn't hear, Google DeepMind also released 2 new models. They essentially had released Nano Banana 2 Lite, which is their image generation model and is described as Google's newest and fastest as well as cheapest Gemini image model yet. And this looks like more of an affordable option for generating images at scale without needing the heavier image models or everyday tasks. And it's pretty decent based off the tests that I have ran. And the second model they ended up releasing was Gemini Omni Flash, which is now available through the Gemini API and the Google AI Studio. It's aimed at developers who want to create and generate, as well as edit high-quality videos directly through Google's AI stack. So this is definitely a nice subtle update, as not even update, but subtle models that they had ended up dropping as Flash variants for different sorts of use cases. The Hype did a pretty good test in comparison. Now the Hype, a company did a good benchmark on comparing the Omni Flash, Seedance 2.0, Happy Horse 1.1, and VO 3.1 in a head-to-head test. This is where the Gemini Omni Flash was able to output whatever generation that it was requested, where it drove a drone through a train and then it output it to a landscape output of New York City. And this is where Gemini Omni Flash did a great job, where it was fast and cheap, but the quality still is really rough, and you can notice that where it just runs directly into the pole while the drone is actually flying. In a one-shot text-to-video generation test against the Seedance 2.0, as well as the other 2 models, the Omni was able to generate a 12th clip in just 31 seconds, and it cost about $1.32, making it the fastest and cheapest option in getting this outputted, but it also had the weakest output with the drone flying through objects as you saw, and it struggled with the scene logic. Seedance T Bono looked the cleanest Odyssey, and Happy Horse understood the prompt well, and VO 3.1 felt the most natural overall. So the takeaway is simple. Omni Flash lives up to the Flash name, but not the quality yet. On the topic of Seedance, ByteDance actually is reportedly preparing to launch Seedance 2.5 in China within the next 2 weeks, and this is an update that is expected to bring 30-second single-shot native video generation, much higher reference material capacity, as well as more controllable video generation and editing. And if this is true, this could be a huge jump from Seedance, especially since longer single-shot outputs and better control are exactly where the video models are still struggling at. Next is where the team behind GLM, the model series Z.ai, has officially launched ZCode 3.0. It's a new AI native coding IDE built around the GLM 5.2 and other GLM models. This is an IDE that supports agentic software development across planning, coding, code reviews, and deployment with the GLM 5.2, integrations, multi-agent collaboration, and long-running autonomous coding workflows, as well as coding tasks with the verification. It is something that you can access across Linux, Windows, as well as Mac OS, and I will be making a full video that showcases this IDE further in detail so that you get a better idea of what you can actually do with this. Now moving over to Elon's XAI, they have essentially launched Voice Agent Builder, and this is a new no-code platform for creating human-like voice agents that are powered by Grok Voice. It's available today at 5 cents per minute, and it gives developers and businesses a cheaper way to build AI voice agents without needing to code from scratch. Now, I'm not too sure how good this is. This is just information that I'm providing without me actually testing this. I just saw this on X and I thought it would be beneficial for you guys to know. Lastly, like how we always end off these videos with these robot videos. Essentially, Fire AI's latest momentum is around the figure 03 or 03, which is reportedly being deployed at BMW's factory for real logistics and manufacturing tasks. That's the key point. Trigger is no longer just showing demos, it's actually going to be deployed into real production environments inside real factories, handling repetitive physical labor, and eventually scaling through its BQ factory. This is why it is being aggressively increased in terms of its valuation over the last couple of months, not just because of these demos, cause Bigger AI in the last 28 months went from $500 million as a valuation to $39 billion in just 28 months, which is just insane. If you like this video and would love to support the channel, you can consider donating to my channel through the Super Thanks option below,